I am T. I live in Lansing, Michigan. I celebrated 4 years sober on June 10th, my soberversary, as I call it. I did the math and I've been in recovery for 15% of my life. I have a home group which meets 6 days a week, and I try to go to at least three of them. Usually it ends up being five or six, but I have a sponsor who has a sponsor, and I have a sponsee, and I'm fortunate enough to sponsor other women. And I'm not really sure what the topic is supposed to be, so I'm just going to talk about my experience, strength, and hope. I first came to AA when I was 21 years old, and I go to a Big Ten school, Michigan State, and I partied really hard. And I was at a tailgate, and the game was at noon, so tailgating started by 7, and I was drunk by 7:30. And I got alcohol poisoning that day, and I got really, really sick. Like, my friends and my boyfriend thought I was going to die. And my boyfriend, now husband, his father had 18 years of sobriety at the time, so he picked me up the next day and dragged my ass to what I like to call my old man meeting, because in this tiny little church in the middle of nowhere, there was 10 old men, and they all knew each other. So you knew that, like, they were friends and things were fine. But they'd go around the table and they'd talk about, like, their ex-wives and, like, their adult kids who don't talk to them. And I'm like, whoa, dude, I'm just 21 and I like to party. So I recognized that I was drinking too much and that that was a problem, but I didn't think I needed AA. So I white knuckled it, and I was in a sorority at the time, and I was in college, and I was just trying to get through day by day. But my husband started having seizures, and the seizures caused 6 years of memory loss. So he forgot who I was, and we'd been together for 4 years. It was our senior year of college, and we'd been dating since freshman year. So that was not the most fun time in my life. And I could give you a million different reasons why I drank. None of them are good. But in my mind, I justified it in that moment as drink. Like, I justified drinking in that moment by telling myself, oh, I'm just under a lot of stress. Anybody else in my position would drink too. So I drank. And I could only afford a box of Franzia a week. So I was like, okay, I can do this. Like, this is fine. But then I got a pay raise and I could afford tequila again. And it very rapidly spiraled. I it it very quickly spiraled out of control, and things escalated. I got violent with my husband, and I guess I blacked out. I don't remember most of it, but I guess I, like, put a knife to his throat, and he kicked me out, rightfully so, and I stormed off. And instead of, like, going to, like, a sorority sister's house or someone local, I called my best friend from an hour away, and he came and picked me up. And we got all the way back to our hometown, again, an hour away. And he's like, where should I take you? And I'm like, what do you mean? To your house, please? Like, I don't know. My parents moved away. Like, where am I supposed to go? And he's like, oh, no, I'm staying at my friend's house. And I'm like, well, fuck, I guess drop me off at my other friend's house. And I knew her parents never locked the door. And she was in Kansas at the time, but I walked my happy drunk ass in, found a phone charger, texted her mom and said, I'm here. I love you. And then I went to bed. And I woke up the next morning to her 14-year-old sister going, why is T here? And her mom going, shh, she had a rough night. And I woke up hungover as shit, angry, ashamed, guilty. And she sat me down on the front porch in these white wooden rocking chairs. And she said to me, what you're doing is insanity. You're doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And I had read that quote in school, like, for years and years, and I'd always liked it, but did not like that it was applicable to my life in that moment. And that was a really big wake up call for me. So I called my husband, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. And he's like, just come home. We'll deal with it. We'll just come home. So that night we had a good conversation, and we drank all the alcohol in the house. Whatever was left was dumped after I fell asleep. And I woke up June 10th, Founders Day apparently, and made the decision that I wasn't going to drink anymore, because I almost cost myself my relationship, my home, my life. And I guess there were some things that I just wasn't willing to lose. So I got sober, and I lost a lot of friends in sobriety. And I say friends pretty loosely, because looking back, I realized that all of my quote unquote friends were just glorified drinking buddies. And the first year of sobriety was really lonely for me. I worked second shift when most young people in my area worked first shift. So, I was missing all the normal evening meetings and the socialization. But at the same time, it was good for me. So I wasn't tempted to go out to the bars. Like, you can get drunk at 11 a.m., but when you have to work at 3, it's a little bit harder than getting off of work at 5 and then being plastered by 9. So it definitely kept me in check. And I really threw myself into my program when COVID hit, because I was always a poor meeting maker. The first 2 years of my sobriety, I was like, I'll go to a meeting when I have a problem. I don't need this maintenance bullshit. Like, I don't need a meeting every day. And here I am at a meeting because I missed my noon meeting today, and I reached out to somebody on Facebook and they sent me this meeting. So I guess I now am one of those people who want to go to a meeting every day. And COVID, I was so afraid that I was going to relapse, because not only were in-person meetings just not a thing anymore, I am basically computer illiterate and was really nervous about how to operate Zoom. But I made myself go. I made myself go to my local meetings, like my local YPAW meetings that moved online. And then I branched out to different meetings. And it was last 4th of July, and I just wanted to drink, man. I was with people who were drinking. I sat through 10 innings of a baseball game, which, I'm sorry, it's awful. It's boring. And all for a 5-minute fireworks show. I just wanted to go home and get drunk. So I told myself, tomorrow you're going to go to a Zoom meeting, and you're going to go to a local one so you can find a new local sponsor. And there was one woman at this meeting of 10 people. And I asked her to be my sponsor, and she said that she would take me on a 30-day trial basis. Well, 11 months later, she's still my sponsor. And at that same meeting, I met my sponsee, and she celebrates 8 months next week. And I just live this beautiful, fulfilled, content life. And 4 years ago, at the peak of my active addiction, I never would have thought that was possible. Even in the first year of my sobriety, I wouldn't have expected the promises to come true. And my favorite saying that I've heard about the promises is, not every promise will be true every second of every day. Because there were times when I'd be like, oh, well, why hasn't the fear of economic insecurity left me yet? And I have to be reminded, like, okay, like, but look at these other promises that are true. Like, you're no longer like regretting the past. You're no longer like just being a shit person, to be honest. And I'm very grateful to say today that I do have a higher power through this program, that I do have my marriage through this program. I just got married last month. And by the time we got married, my husband had seen me sober longer than he'd seen me in addiction. And I think that was a really big miracle, because I didn't think I'd get this far. When I first got sober, I set a goal, a 5-year goal, to be 5 years sober. And now I'm 80% of the way there. So that's kind of a cool feeling. But I am so grateful for this program, for the people in it, for its way of doing things and living life. It has helped me become a better person. It's helped me become a kinder person. And it's helped me become a lot more empathetic, because I no longer shame people for their troubles and their problems and their tribulations. I try to put myself in their shoes so I can best relate and best figure out how to help them. But when I was drinking and tripping on mushrooms all of the time, that was not my prerogative. That was not a care of mine. I just wanted to get high, you know? I wanted to get fucked up. I wanted to escape my head, my traumas, my fears, my insecurities, everything. I just wanted to escape. And that's what drinking became for me. It wasn't just partying with friends and having some fun. It was escaping my life. And because of this program and these steps and my sponsor, my sponsee, my husband, everybody in my life, I'm able to not have to escape. I'm able to live a life today that I don't want to escape from, that I want to live in and revel in. And that wouldn't be possible without all of you. And I know it's my first time here, and I probably have never seen most of you before, but I'm very grateful for the opportunity given to me tonight to share my story. So with that, I do feel like I have rambled, but thank you for listening, and thank you for letting me share, and have a great night, guys.